So in this question we've got here, y is equal to x squared plus 5x minus 6. Okay, so the question that will be asked is, what's the y-intercept? What's your x-intercept? Okay, and then what's your turning point? Okay. Now, when it says y-intercept, what does it mean by the term y-intercept?
Like on the graph, there's
Yep.
the y-intercept on the line.
Right. So on what line specifically? So be very precise with your words.
The vertical line.
Yeah. So you've got a graph here, and basically, let's say this is a linear equation. Okay, so here we've got that. That's your y-intercept.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we know about the value of x at that point?
It equals 0.
Yeah, because the value of x is here. It's like your x ruler, your x-axis. Value of x is equal to 0, right? So let's have a look at y-intercept. So what are you going to do then?
We're going to do x equals 0.
Yeah, so make x equal to 0.
Yep.
Okay? Now looking at that equation, y is equal to 0 squared.
Yep.
And what do we call this process that I'm doing right now? Starts with letter S.
Substitute.
Substitution. So you're going back to year 8, year 9, and you're substituting it in there. So what does y equal to now? 0 squared is 0,
0.
right? Because that means 0 times 0, right? Plus 5 times 0 is
0.
0 minus 6. So your y is equal to negative 6. How do you write that as a y-intercept? What is that as a coordinate?
0, negative 6.
Yeah, because as a coordinate, it's x comma y.
Yeah.
You have x is equal to 0 and y is equal to
Negative.
minus 6. That's y-intercept. Okay? Now, going over the next part, which is x-intercept. Okay, so x-intercept. What do you know about x-intercept? What's a fact you know about x-intercept? So let's say that's a line. That's your x-intercept. What do we know about that point? That's definitely a fact.
It has to be on that horizontal line.
It has to be on the horizontal line. What else do you know? So that's one fact. What else? Do you know the value of y?
Yeah.
What does y equal to?
Equals 0.
Yeah, correct. So what can we do here? We can make
Y equals
y equals 0. Right. So where is y in this equation? It's here. So what are we going to do now?
just make y 0.
Yeah, and what's that process called?
Substitute.
Substitution, yeah. So we're substituting y is equal to 0 into here. So this is your equation, y equals x squared plus 5x minus 6.
Yep.
You're going to make this guy over here is equal to 0, x squared plus 5x minus 6. How do you solve for x? What do we do in this process now?
The factorizing gonna get
Factorizing. So we're going to factorize. Well done. So how do we factorize this?
you gotta take from 6 two numbers that add times 6 and add to 5.
Yeah, two numbers that multiply to give you negative 6, two numbers that add to give you 5. And what's the next step after that, after writing that? I would highly suggest you write that, okay? Then what's the next step?
Just start listing them down.
Yeah, listing what down? What are you going to list down?
The factors of 6.
What 6? 6, yeah? Yeah. So you're going to list the factors of 6. So it's going to be 1 times 6 and 2 times
3.
3. Okay, cool. Now, looking at those two pairs, right, which numbers are going to add to give you 5?
2 and 3. But
2 and 3.
I'm pretty sure it's 1 and 6.
But when they're you think it's pretty sure it's 1 and 6? When you add 2 plus 3, and that's positive and positive, what does that become? 5. But when you multiply that, does that become negative 6?
No, it's positive 6.
It gives you positive 6. Okay, so that means, what do you know then? One of your numbers have to be a negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think it could be? Which pair?
I think it's the first one.
Yeah.
If you-
Okay, but you want to be very precise.
Okay.
You think it is. Okay, let's try it out now. So which one do you think? Let's try it. Which one's going to be negative?
I think
Try it out.
negative. I think do 6 as negative.
Okay, so let's do 6 as negative. All right. So that's going to be 1 take away 6. What does 1 take away 6 equal to?
Yeah, it must
Negative
be, it is
5.
negative 5.
Yeah, okay, let's try the other way around. Negative 1 plus 6. What does that equal to?
5.
5. So when these two numbers add, they give you the middle number. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
So if you're not really sure about your times tables, especially when you multiply positive and negative,
Yeah.
write it down because then you can visually see it, right? So you know now it's negative 1 plus 6, right? So that means when you factorize, it's x minus 1, x plus 6 is equal to 0. All right? So x minus 1 and x plus 6 is equal to 0, right? So now what are you going to do? Looking at that, what's your x-intercept?
1, 6.
Yeah, x equals 1, and then x is equal to what?
6 as well. Or,
Is it positive? It's the opposite of that.
Yeah, sorry.
Minus 6. Yeah, don't be sorry. It's all good. Yeah. So here now you got, how do you write this as a coordinate?
Well, 1,
Yeah. 1 what?
just 0.
Yeah. Why? What do we know about x-intercepts?
There can only be like 1 in each coordinate. Like, there's an
There
x
could be
in-
multiple x-intercepts, but what do we know about a fact about an x-intercept? What do we know about that particular spot there? This particular spot?
That the other factor can't go there because that's what it
That's something else, yeah? What do we know about that coordinate as a fact? Every single x-intercept.
It has to have a y-intercept as well.
Yeah, so what is that y always equal to?
0.
0. So, as a coordinate, y is equal to 0. Then you got here, negative 6, comma, 0. So now you've got your x-intercepts, now you've got your y-intercept. The biggest question now is how do you find out your turning point?
Yeah.
Now from yesterday, where does a quadratic graph usually turn? Where does your quadratic graph usually turn?
Usually turns like down the bottom, like kind of through the y.
Yeah, but whereabouts? Where does it turn? Like between the x-intercepts? Which point?
Halfway.
Halfway, yeah. So we're just gonna rub that out. How you doing? You alright? You alright?
Yeah,
Yeah?
on the same page.
You can't say that. Okay, so basically your y-intercept is, what was it? 0, comma, negative 6.
Yep.
Your x-intercept is gonna be what? 1, comma, 0, and then negative 6, comma, 0, right? Now, this is the tricky part, right? The turning point. So let's draw a graph. Okay, you've got your x, you've got your y. Where is your y-intercept? Somewhere there. Okay, now you need to use a ruler and you have to use a pencil. So you got what? What units would you go up by?
Probably 2. Or
2.
I guess you could do single as well.
Yeah, you could do
If it's
single,
one.
depends on your graph, right? Let's go up by ones, yeah?
Yeah.
2, 3, okay, and then this negative 6. And the reason why you said 2 is because of this one, yeah?
Yeah.
That's why there's not much space. Let's go up by go down by ones. Negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, and negative 6. Right, so you still need to do this section, even though we're not. We will use that. But then you've got that part 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. Now remember, if you go this scale, if you go up by 1s or 2s, this doesn't need to go up by 1s or 2s.
Okay.
It can go up by any other number as well. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. Let's put our intercept. So what's our first intercept? Our x-intercept, yeah? Which
So-
is what?
1 and
Yeah.
negative 6.
So 1, comma 0, and then negative 6, comma 0. Okay, cool. What's our y-intercept?
0 and negative 6.
Whereabouts is that?
Just down there.
That's here. Okay, the last part about this is finding your turning point. So you just said the turning point is usually halfway between the,
X coordinates.
yeah, the x-intercepts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so halfway between x-intercepts. All right, where's the halfway point between negative 6 and 1?
The 7. I think the 7 in
There's
between.
7, yeah?
So,
So the halfway point between 7 is what?
negative 2.5.
Yeah, so it's going to be, yeah, so you're going to move, what's the halfway of 7 units? 3.5, yeah? So that's going to go 1, 2, 3, 3.5, which is, well done. It is negative 2.5. So x is equal to negative 2.5, right? That's where it's going to turn. But
Yeah.
do you know where exactly is it going to turn? What's our y value? And how do you find your y value? You know your x value.
Yeah.
What's the name of this graph?
A linear graph.
Yeah, quadratic graph.
Quadratic.
But every graph has their own equation. What's the equation for this?
To find the curve.
Yeah, but
between-
what? Yeah, but what's the name? What's the actual equation that they've given us? Like, can you read the equation? What's the equation? Y is equal to
X squared.
squared plus 5x minus 6. Now, to find out your your y-intercept, you made x equal to 0.
Yep.
And then what did you do to find out your y? You did what?
The other way around.
You did what? It starts with letter S. What process is that called?
Substitution.
Substitution. Yeah, well done. So you substituted x equals 0 in here to find out your y. To find out your x-intercepts, what did you do then?
Substitute the y.
Yeah, to find out your turning point, you find out your x value, which is the halfway point. Now that you found out your x value, how do you find out your y?
You gotta substitute x.
Yes,
there.
well done. So you're going to substitute x is equal to negative 2.5 in your equation. So what's your equation? That. So you're going to have y is equal to
2.5 squared.
negative 2.5 squared.
Yep.
Okay, and then plus 5, open brackets, negative 2.5 minus 6. You can just literally enter that in a calculator. Do you have your calculator?
Yeah, but it's still flat.
Oh, it's still flat. Okay, so essentially what you're going to have is you're going to have a turning point. Okay, so I don't actually have my calculator on me either, but
I'm trying to figure it out.
so it will literally, let's say it goes here, right? Yeah?
Yep.
That means when you draw it, it's going to look like that. You have to label your x-intercepts. You got to label your y-intercept. So 0, negative 6. And because we don't know our turning point, but we know the x value, you got to label your x value as well. Okay? That will give you the full marks.
Okay.
That's what every question is going to look like.
Every single question.
Yeah, every single question is going to look like that. Okay? So you're going to work out your y-intercept, your x-intercept, your turning point. So it doesn't matter what your answer is. You got to know, and you're going to have to try and recall how you're going to get to that situation.
Yeah.
Okay? Right? How do you find out your y-intercept? What's the journey going to look like? What does that even mean by y-intercept? So ask yourself that first question. What does it mean by y-intercept? Okay? So I'm going to put up another question on the board.
Yep.
I want you to have a go, yeah?
Alright. I feel like